Good afternoon. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting. It is Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. It is 2:02 p.m. And I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. To my right is Vice Chair Ty Menser. To my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. Also in the boardroom, we have County Manager Ramiro Chavez, Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell, and our Clerk of the Board, Jamie Caldwell. We'll start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Menser.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, Vice Chair Menser, would you like to do a land acknowledgement, sir?
Thank you. We would also like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Chehalis, and Nisqually people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is the approval of the Tuesday, April 11th, 2023 agenda. Is there any item that the commissioners would like to remove at this time from the agenda? No? Okay, so with that, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the proposed agenda for Tuesday, April 11th, 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. The agenda is approved. We have a presentation today, and it's National Volunteer Month proclamation. And we have many guests joining us here today for this proclamation. And so, County Manager, would you like to?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is, I believe, a great opportunity for the Board of County Commissioners to extend their appreciations to the many volunteer hours that we receive from each one of you on a yearly basis. So with this in mind, I don't know who would like to come to the podium and express some thoughts. Go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Sue Pointer with Thurston County Public Health. I just want a couple messages about this proclamation. We're really recognizing multitude of numerous volunteers throughout Thurston County that dedicate their time and their talent in support of those oftentimes who are most vulnerable. And volunteer work is really a core foundation to many of our services, whether they be governmental or nonprofit services. Any one of us at any given time could be in that vulnerable situation, whether it's from an emergency or flooding of our house, whether we have food insecurities, whether we're don't have access to care and are looking for health services, whether we're in the middle of a pandemic, whether there's schools, courts, municipalities. I also want to recognize the housing agencies, and it varies. And I'm going to introduce 5 amazing community partners to you, and the housing agencies that put their time and effort into ensuring that volunteers have a productive and meaningful experience. But ultimately, really, it's about the volunteers themselves and their commitment across Thurston County. So we're going to go in order, and first introduction I'm going to do is the Medical Reserve Corps, and Dr. Diana Yu and Brett Smith are going to talk first. Then Meg Martin from Interfaith Works is going to share some thoughts. Jody Stoltz and her team from the Tenino Food Bank are going to come, and I don't know if Renee Hunsacker is online from, I'm not sure if she is, from United Way, and then also Sherry Carey from Thurston County Emergency Management and their DART team. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Yu and Dr. Smith.
Good afternoon. So it's been a while, but you guys all look the same. It's amazing. So we actually started the Medical Reserve Corps in 2001 unofficially, And that's when I was smart enough to recruit this guy, who was my classmate at the University of Washington Medical School. He could not say no. So, and then we officially became a unit in 2003 while I was still working at the health department. And of course, when I retired in 2013, what better way to spend my time than to volunteer myself for the Thurston County Medical Reserve Corps. I'm going to let Britt talk because he's got information and he's going to blame me for all the hard work that he's been doing the last couple of years, but that's okay. We're
Hi.
buddies.
I'm Dr. Britt Smith. Diana, you is the face of the Medical Reserve Corps. I'm the workhorse. So yeah, we have been doing some activities for the Thurston County for over 20 years now. In just the last 3 years during our pandemic, we put in over 7,500 hours of volunteer work worth about $500,000 to the county. But that's not the only thing. We've been training for that horrible event by giving school vaccines every fall for free. In 2019, we gave over 700. In the last couple of years, even with the pandemic going on, we've been able to administer about 500. That's a lot of vaccines, which prevents the suffering of our community children and adults, because we also do flu vaccinations. Our training also extends to first aid, where we work at the senior games and at the Seattle to Portland bike ride. And we used to also do many of the other money-making events in the community as volunteers. And this keeps our community healthy, and that's what we're there for.
And we're actually able to partner with our tribal, with the Nisqually tribe, to do a lot of the work that they have to do as well. And they're great partners. And we have to keep ready for the eventuality of whatever emergency comes along. And we were quite prepared for the pandemic, unfortunately. But even then, we were not prepared enough. So it's due to the efforts of a lot of volunteers that we're able to continue to provide this service to the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Meg Martin. I'm the Executive Director for Interfaith Works. And thank you for the opportunity to share with you today about all of the amazing volunteers that have been the foundation, truly the heartbeat of Interfaith Works for nearly 50 years, our whole organization's history. Interfaith Works is a broad community coalition made up of over 30 faith and spiritual communities coming together to find shared values and work on community initiatives that impact us all. We do not promote, advance, or engage in religious messaging or recruitment with any of our services. We are inclusive, welcoming, and open to everyone in our community, regardless of class, economic status, race, gender identity, sexual orientation, physical ability, mental health, or addiction challenges. We believe that in order for our community to thrive, everyone, regardless of their circumstances, needs to be integrated into the solutions that we put forth. And our spirit of volunteerism is central to that belief. Our member faith communities provide volunteer delegates to work on a monthly basis on our program council to help guide the efforts Interfaith Works brings forward into the community. Volunteer delegates, some who have served for decades, represent their spiritual community. And if you will allow me, I would love to read our current membership list because it's really quite broad. All Souls Unitarian Universalist Community, the Baha'i Assemblies of Thurston County, Olympia, and Tumwater, Center for Spiritual Living, Community for Interfaith Celebration, Emmaus Ecumenical Catholic Community, First Christian Church, First Church of Christ Scientists, First United Methodist Church of Olympia, Gloria Dei Lutheran Church, Holy Wisdom Inclusive Catholic Community, Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, Nalanda Institute, Olympia Friends Meeting, Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation, Open Gate Zendo, St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, St. Benedict Episcopal Church, St. John's Episcopal Church, St. Michael Catholic Parish, Temple Beth Hat Philo, Tumwater United Methodist Church, the United Churches of Olympia, Unity Churches of Olympia, Westminster Presbyterian, Islamic Center of Olympia, Lacey Community Church, Lacey Presbyterian Church, and that is our list of membership. Our board of directors is all volunteer run and a truly working board. Many of them hosted our all volunteer run shelters of our past and have been engaged with Interfaith Works for many years. We have community groups and families who cook meals and serve at our shelter at Unity Commons. The Islamic Center of Olympia, Unity of Olympia, St. Benedict's, the Quakers Friends Meeting, the Unitarians, Temple Beth Hat Philo, Community for Interfaith Celebration, and St. Mike's have all been providing meals for years and years to our shelter guests before we were even in Unity Commons. Community groups like Hospice Without Borders and Bowl of Hope have been staples of meal service at our shelter, as well as Whitney and Luke Bowerman and their two kids, Poppy and Betsy, who've served almost 9 years now on a monthly basis. We've partnered with the Thurston County Medical Reserve Corps to train volunteers for our hazardous weather response, to support our staff when we stand up shelters and daytime respite centers during extreme weather events. Community compassion overflows during these snow and extreme heat events, and volunteers bring supplies, donations, and help us get the word out about our services. Since most of our volunteers support us in our congregant spaces, whether it be in the shelter or in our day centers, the pandemic has greatly impacted our ability to have volunteers in our space. And it's been very sad to not have as many community members engaged. A major part of our mission is social inclusion and combating the social isolation that comes with homelessness. The incorporation of volunteers and community members into our space is key for that. So I want to thank you to our cadre of volunteers who bring so much love and light and energy into the lives of our participants and staff. We are forever grateful for the time and resources you give to us each and every day. We love you all if you're out there watching. And we can't wait to get you back into the shelter and into our new day center, which I'm happy to announce soft opened today, Sergio's at 3444 Martin Way, which the Board of County Commissioners was extremely supportive in helping that happen. We are hopeful for the return of a robust volunteer program this summer, and we hope that anyone who's interested in joining us will stay engaged by visiting our website, iwshelter.org/volunteer. We are looking to start monthly volunteer trainings again in June, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you all so much.
They won't. Yeah, I want you to do some history. You're the historian.
I'm Pat Haller, and Food Bank in Tenino started in 1982 by Robin Rudy and myself. And since she's passed away, Jody Stoltz has taken reins, and she's done wonderful things with the food bank.
But we are more than a food bank. We stepped up to the plate, made sure that we had testing for COVID. We had shot clinics weekly for COVID. We're there in case there is a fire, a flood, or whatever in the community. We are there at the ready. We have been able to expand through grants and through the help through Thurston County and some of our other folks that love us. We fed today, we fed 50 families or individuals, especially seniors. Most of them are seniors that are homebound for whatever reason, whether it is medical, whether they cannot afford to have a car anymore, or they shouldn't ever have a car again. So we fed about 50 of those folks today, and we had, that we delivered to their home. We did another probably 30 that drove up. That's just today. And the numbers for the seniors are increasing every day. So we're seeing a lot of our seniors that are struggling. Most of them that were on food subsidies, SNAP and that kind of thing, has been taken away from them. A lot of them. And so when they were only getting $30, $40 a month, that $30, $40 was helping make sure that they got fresh vegetables and those kind of things. Now they don't get those. So they come to us. We have been blessed enough that we are able to get some fresh vegetables. Unfortunately, the procurement of things is still lacking. We're just seeing a lot of problems in getting things into the food bank, whether it's because of the economy or whether it's because of still the lack of getting things from one end of this United States to the other. Who knows? We just don't have it. But anyway, we do what we can do. We help them out. However we need to help them out, we send them off to other entities when we have people that are going to become homeless for whatever reason. And we have a furniture bank so that we can take care of our seniors with a furniture bank. We have a veterans closet. We take care of veterans and their families. So we have many, many different layers of the onion. So, and thank you so very much for your support.
Good afternoon. My name is Sherry Carey. I'm with Thurston County Emergency Management, and I'm joined today by 4 members of our Disaster Assistance Response Team, known as TC DART. First, we have Leah Perez-Wolf. We have Teresa Garrett-Hill, Mark Hill, and William Gresham. Thurston County manages 2 volunteer groups out of our office, so DART, which I talked about, and Equine Outreach. These groups are the backbone of our organization, and most any organization, public health, can probably relate to that as well. We are super grateful for their commitment and dedication to Thurston County. They have assisted us in the COVID-19 response, flooding throughout the county, any sort of natural or man-made disaster. That group is available and ready to support us. These folks here with me today just spent the good part of probably 3 months preparing for a community emergency response training where we invited 25 folks from the community in to take this training. They went from a Saturday, Sunday, and a Monday evening. It ended with a disaster simulation drill where we had 11 survivors. And so these folks dedicated their time and energy to ensure that successful training. It was the first training that we've done since 2019. So we're super grateful for their response and really appreciate what they do here for Thurston County. So thank you.
Okay, commissioners, any?
Well, I would just like to take a moment to thank you folks that are here today representing just really a few of the many, many volunteers that we depend on in our community to make it a better place. Speaking about making it a better place, that's what all of you do. And I don't think we as a board can ever recognize you enough for everything you've done to make Thurston County a better community. So just thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Menser?
Yeah, I'll echo what Commissioner Edwards said, to thank all the volunteers. I'm never ceased to be amazed by all the number of hours and people that participate across the community. I think it's a unique part of Washingtonians' character, and I say that because when there's a literary anthology about Washington State that I read a few years ago, and it goes chronologically through Washington history, and one of the articles was a New York Times journalist, very prominent East Coast New York journalist from the late 19th century, who came to Washington to see this new state and what was going on. And he wrote an article about what he saw here. And the thing that he noticed the most was that the incredible number of volunteer organizations. And so it's been true for, 100 years. It seems to still be true today. When I first ran for commissioner in 2018, your campaign manager says, go out and connect all the community groups. Like, go find the groups, go to their meeting and do this. Well, that was months and months of finding groups, finding out when they met, showing up at their meeting, and it's such an interesting endeavor to go out and try to touch every corner of a community like this, where there's so many volunteers, so many people so enthusiastic about so many different things. So I really appreciate that about living here, and thank you to everybody that participates in that and creates the character that we have and love here in Thurston County.
Yes, echoing my seatmates' words, really, I would just like to express really a heartfelt thank you to all of you who really dedicate your efforts to making a positive impact in our community. And we really saw it. There's been several efforts that Thurston County has gone through, and we couldn't really do it without that volunteer workforce that just pushes us really forward. And I read this beautiful quote from Mr. Rogers, and I just kind of wanted to relay it out because I felt it really fit in with what the volunteer spirit is. And it's all of us at some time or another need help, whether we're giving or receiving help. Each one of us has something valuable to bring to this world. That's one of the things that connects us as neighbors. In our own way, each one of us is a giver and a receiver. And I felt that really captured really all the volunteers for these different organizations, from the food bank to Interfaith Works to United Way to our emergency service department to public health, and to a multitude of organizations that really work in our community. So thank you to all of you. With that, I'm ready for a proclamation, sir.
Okay. Thurston County Proclamation, National Volunteer Appreciation Month. Whereas the month of April has been designated nationally as Volunteer Appreciation Month to encourage the community to recognize and honor the dedication, hard work, and contributions of volunteers and public service members throughout Thurston County. And whereas in the year we are saluting the unparalleled services of the volunteers who have given countless hours for the betterment of our communities and residents. Whereas volunteer contributions encompass a broad range of needs across the community, including COVID-19 response services, vaccine services, resource distribution, and services to our most vulnerable residents. Whereas the dedicated volunteers of Thurston, who we are as Americans. Whereas Thurston County recognizes the hard work and dedication provided by volunteers and public employees, which helps to increase the impact of the organizations they serve through direct services they provide. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of County Commissioners hereby proclaims April 2023 National Volunteer Appreciation Month in Thurston County. We extend our deepest appreciation to all in our community who participate in volunteerism and urge all citizens to observe this day and this month by recognizing the positive impacts of volunteerism and public service in our community, adopted this 11th day of April 2023 by the Board of County Commissioners. If we could have some of you folks, all the folks who came.
Volunteers, please come.
Squeeze in there, Romero. If you can get them all in.
We had one for each. Oh, yeah, I can take that for, I have one for each group.
There you go.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay, that will conclude our presentation for today. Next will be an opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. The general speaking guidelines are as follows. Please introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county. Please address the board, not the audience or staff. Please silence your cell phones for those members in the boardroom. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate their speaking time to another person. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outburst of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business, and all materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of the RCW. And no remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Thank you so much for your cooperation. I'll start off with people who have signed up, and then if you didn't get a chance to sign up, then I'll ask for people to come up. And then after that, we will move on to Zoom, and we will ask for people on Zoom to provide public comment. The first person on the list is John Pettit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live in the East Olympia area off Rich Road. And I'm kind of continuing some of my previous public comment, which I made. But before I start with that, I noticed this morning, all of a sudden, there was another few pages put on the agenda program, which I actually appreciate to a great amount. I think you should have this almost on a weekly basis. It was a listing about what the current cash balances are for all of the different funds. And that's an important part because you're making decisions about what to do and what money to spend. And the particular ones that were highlighted in blue were real estate excise tax 1 and real estate excise tax 2. And I guess what I'm going to do is carry that forward because the real estate excise tax 1, which is the one which I've been giving some comments about, I had actually put in there that I estimated it would be about $5,800,000. Current balance is about $5,200,000. And in my letter, I presented the fact that, you know, you have about $4 million worth of bonds you're paying out of REIT funds. Not supposed to be paying bonds out of REIT funds. In fact, one of the things I found to be curious about that, it's not just that you're choosing to pay bonds, but you're paying what they call refund bonds. Some of the bonds you're using our current REIT money for is things that was from 2004, 2005. You're paying our money that we have for developing these projects within the 6-year plan of a capital improvement program. You're paying from something back there 16, 18 years ago. I'm going to suggest that that's under your great leadership of your county managers. And of course, one of the things which I brought up in my previous comment was, come the end of June, there's a big payment due for paying back the REIT fund, because, or REIT fund paying back a loan that it took in order to buy a building facility for the auditor's office over out of the Mottman complex. And based upon the numbers and the budget that's laid out, you're not going to be able to make the loan. You're not going to be able to make your payment. You're defaulting. Now, you're either going to default on that loan, or you're going to try to extend it, trying to say, oh, well, we'll just wait, which is an absolute no. Or maybe you're going to default on the bond you passed last year for the 22 bond. Somewhere, the county had basically gone outside of the level of trust that's required for the accounting purposes. It's not a slush fund. It's not your money. The money belongs to the taxpayers. Maybe if we didn't spend $10 million on this building that does not belong to the county out of REIT, maybe we'd have the money to actually pay the loans we're supposed to. But somebody has to be held accountable. And my point is, I want the people to be held accountable. Now, I could try to say, well, I don't know if it's paid or not. I requested information if that interfund loan was paid. I've got nothing from your county managers, which only draws a complete conclusion that it was not. The budget actually shows that you're planning on paying a full 2 years worth of interest in it, which also indicates it has not been paid. So you're going to need to tell me when you're going to pay that loan back. Thank you.
Next is Terry Ballard.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Is this on? This on? Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Terry Ballard. I'm a 35-year veteran. I retired in 2012 with 29 years towards active duty. I am currently affiliated with a lot of veteran organizations, to include the Precinct Committee Officer for 119 Lydia Hawk. I have a problem with this land acknowledgement, okay? The years don't take it. 1877 through 1934 is when we took the land away from various Indian tribes. Used to be flourished with tribes. They came over the land bridge. Nobody was in North Dakota, in North America. Came over the land bridge, the Clovis people. That's basically 13,000 years ago. And then the addenda was probably the first Native American culture, which was 1000 BC to 200 BC. So the land acknowledgement is kind of getting old, and being I am a person of a different cultures, I really look at it as far as either discrimination or reverse discrimination. We need to stop that. And what we need to do is we need to serve all people here. Okay, that's what America's built on, serving all people. We came up to a situation out in not Yelm, but out in Tenino, where we closed down a Supreme Living. That's for all basically the sex predators and sex offenders. But I didn't know until lately there is a Supreme Living across the street from me in Tanglewild, where I have 2 houses. And it's right across the street from Debbie Dance. That's where children go to dance. It's within a mile of 2 children's schools. Okay. I was happy to see that go, and happy that they got it from a septic tank point of view, but we have some real problems in around Tanglewild. Also, that I keep on preaching on School Street. We're going to get children run over on School Street, okay, in Tanglewild. That's where those big apartment complexes are coming. I see over here next, you have a bike lane. Well, why don't we put a bike lane on there? It's allocated for walkways. I don't care who pays for it. Okay, I just want to make sure that the children are safe to go down that street once they come into those apartments. And if they get run over, just like I said, I'll be here with bells on. Okay, I'm a little tired of speaking. I'm a little tired of nothing getting done. Okay, we're not here for the different districts. We are here for the county, right? So why did unincorporated Thurston County pay for all this? Where are all the other incorporated cities in Thurston County paying for this? Why are we paying things out of the road fund and then running out of road fund money and needing more the next year, just like the Veterans Fund? Okay? I mean, I'm a little tired of May being unincorporated Thurston County paying for everything, of all the incorporated cities who flourish with our money. I'm tired of it. I wish we would start getting the budgets and paying out the budgets for its intended purpose. Okay, that's not being done. Coming from a maintenance and logistics standpoint, I don't know how you guys do the budgets, really. It just like crosses over from one budget to the next, and it has nothing to do with the budget at hand. Thank you.
Next, I have Bruce Huntley.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Bruce Huntley. Live in Rainier, Washington. And today I want to talk to you about HCP permits. And 6-7 years ago, I started a project where I needed gopher surveys. And it took 2 years, and it was dreadful. I'm here to tell you. And this year in January, we had to modify a roadway, a driveway. And so I was dreading coming in here, talking to planning, what we're going to have to do for gophers. That was it. That was in January. Walked in, and the staff here are complete professionals. They're great. They helped us along the way. We had questions on permits, what we needed. They were right there to lay it out for us. We put in our master application, and the end of February, yesterday we got our permit. We're the first HCA permit, issued in Thurston County. So I want to thank the staff over there in the planning, with Josh and Brett and Vince, and in Public Works, the engineers that helped us through, Todd Mason and Arthur and Ruthie and others. So I just want to give recognition, okay? That's all I've got.
Thank you. And I'm just going to say we got an update this morning and we heard that a permit had been approved. So it's really nice to put a face to that and see, of someone who's been waiting for such a long time. So thank you for coming in. Yeah.
It was streamlined. It was very effective.
Thank you. That is all I have on my sign up. Oh, Jody she was with the food bank. That is all I have on my sign up sheet. I want to see if anyone else. And then we'll go to.
Thank you. My name is Jan Tvetten. I live down in Rochester, and I am here today because of the gopher issue. We've worked on that for years, and I was listening this morning to staff giving a report, and I'm very grateful that we are, and grateful for having had an opportunity to work with staff on that. It was a long project, but nevertheless, we're there. Now, I want to remind you that you have a contract with my daughter and with my son, wherein they may choose to buy back their easement, land that they own and pay taxes on, but nevertheless buy it back from you so that they can contribute towards the mitigation fund. And we are eager to do that, assuming everything goes all right. The fee at the present time that they gave up an easement for 3/4 of an acre and 1 acre of land, and the county is inspecting that land once a year for implementation RV in compliance with the HCP report and I think it's ITP permit from U.S. Fish and Wildlife. We have had no problem so far, but nevertheless, the fee is $700 per year, and it will increase. And for the 30-year life of the project, that would be $21,000. So we want to get out of that as soon as possible. And if as you implement the process, don't forget about the contract and the options that those that have gotten a permit have at the present time, and that is to enter into the mediation program. I'm grateful for the work that we've done together, and I thank you.
Gary, did you want to speak? No? Diane? No? Okay, I thought I saw you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Speaking of housing, good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Gregory Moe. I live out northeast Thurston County. Real estate moment for you. I'm with Windermere Real Estate. Currently, there are 253 active and contingent listings in Thurston County. I've been in this business for 25 years. I've never seen it this low. At the heyday, there were between 16 and 1,800 listings at any particular time in Thurston County, homes for sale. Of those 253, 244 are single-family residences, 20 are condominiums, 32 are manufactured homes either on their own land or in a manufactured home park. There are 425 homes that are pending inspection in Thurston County. That is a 2-to-1 ratio of pendings to actives. 2-to-1, pretty slim pickings. In the past 7 days, there have been 55 new listings. Of those 50, and 137 pending sales, which means 3 times the amount of homes that came on the market in the past 7 days have gone under contract, have gotten an accepted offer. So 3 times. So the supply is diminishing significantly. There have been 76 sold listings, sold homes. 29 price reductions, people looking to get too much for their home and the market's telling them that it's priced too high, but 29 price reductions, 7 price increases, and most of those are new construction, and 6 canceled listings. Prices in Thurston County range from $109,000 to $25 million. There's one listing in the Yelm area for $25 million. It's farmland. $25 million bucks. Week over week, trending, we have fewer active listings, obviously, because there's not a whole lot. More pending sales. The market is tightening, and the average time on the market is decreasing to roughly 5 to 7 days between when a house goes on the market. If it's properly priced in good condition, it takes about 5 to 7 days to get an accepted offer on that home. Why? Because Thurston County is a wonderful place to live. It's that simple. You got a lot of people that want to live here. You got 3 municipalities, Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater. They all have their governments, their own little fiefdoms. We're at kind of at the center of the universe. We're at the base of Puget Sound. You got an hour and a half to the beach, hour and a half to skiing, 2 hours to Portland, hour and a half to Seattle. And plus, we just have a lot of shorelines and nice waterfront properties here in Thurston County. What can we do? Because we have a housing shortage. We can streamline and improve the permitting process. I've talked about this over the years, about how we can do that. And I've been told that we're getting better, it's getting better, but we haven't seen it because 253 homes for sale in all of Thurston County is pretty sad. And again, reduce the regulations. I'm so happy to see the HCP permit was gone through. I mean, I remember when Fish and Wildlife came into this county and they just shut everything down as far as certain geographical areas for this Mazama pocket gopher and other critical creatures. But I'm so happy to see that things are working, so I applaud your tenacity. You, Mr. Tveten, as well. Thank you very much. Any questions? You know how to reach me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the boardroom? Okay, so we'll move on to Zoom next, and I'm going to ask the county manager to assist me with calling people who are present via Zoom. And
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be calling you based on the order that I have you in my screen. First, I have Mr. Robert Wickland. Please go ahead, sir, 4 minutes. No testimony this afternoon? Okay, thank you. Next, I have Ms. Melissa Godoy. like to provide testimony this afternoon?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Go ahead, 4 minutes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You have 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, my name is Melissa Godoy. I'm a resident of Yelm Southeast out here in Clearwood community at the end of Bald Hills Lake Road. I prepared a speech, so let me read it. So this is about the cell phone service, and I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with all the blackouts out here. You know, it's a complete cellular dead zone out here. We don't have cell service, and the service that we do have is very spotty. And so cell phone service isn't just for 911. Although our first responders have expressed the need for cell service, this lack of communication affects our public safety as well as our livelihood. We have small business owners and people who work from home, as well as students who do online school. I'm one of them. We have had several recent vehicle accidents in this area. I know of 5 within the last month, one being deadly. And we had a person die last Saturday, not too far from here, in a vehicle accident. And I hope the lack of communication didn't contribute to this untimely death. Each surviving victim has said that they weren't able to use their cell phone and call 911. And they relied on someone just driving by and stopping, you know, and seeing the accident. They depended on someone having to physically drive to the Bald Hills Fire Department to get help. I spoke to members of the Bald Hills Fire Department, and they've expressed a desperate need for cell service out here in this area. Also, I spoke to deputies and even paramedics. They all desperately want cell service out here. They're all concerned for their community and the severe lack of communication and their ability to get to people on time. Just yesterday, there was an accident as well. Coincidentally in the same spot that the lady died in last Saturday. As far as my personal concerns, my son's school was trying to call me for 4 hours because my son was having a medical emergency. And this was during the 18-hour internet blackout that we had about a month ago with our private internet company. Our internet just didn't work one day and it stopped working for 18 solid hours. And we depend on Wi-Fi calling within our homes. We do have a landline, but sometimes that doesn't even work if the power goes out because we have a digital phone. So, and also my husband is an active duty service member. He is in the Army. He needs solid communication in case his command is trying to reach him. Sometimes our landline goes out with the electricity and our Wi-Fi goes out with the internet failures that happen at least once a month. Now, these internet failures happen at least once a month, and my Wi-Fi calls drop about every 30 minutes. So if I'm on an important phone call, you know, with somebody like a job interview or something, I have to tell them that in case our call drops, I need to call them back. We have thousands of community members that need cell service for all kinds of reasons. We have, just in my neighborhood alone, in the Clearwood community HOA neighborhood, there's about 1,104 or approximately 1,105 residents within the gates of this community that we all don't have cell service. That's 1,105 people within this community, your community members that have zero solid communication, all with separate needs, all with separate reasons for needing cell service.
20 seconds, ma'am, 20 seconds.
Okay, and the wants of a few should not determine the needs of many. Thank you.
Thank you. Next I have Chris Lester.
No comment, thank you.
Thank you. Next I have Mr. Rick Durkin. Next, I have Ms. Kathleen Nolt. And next, go ahead.
No comment, thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Ms. Rebecca Pogue. That will conclude public testimony, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you. So with that, we'll move on to county manager's update.
I just have a couple of items for you this afternoon. First is Thurston County is proud to join more than 100 other businesses and organizations as a designated Thurston Green Business. The county will receive a certificate at the Green Business Forum tomorrow, Wednesday, April 12, 11 a.m. at St. Martin's University as part of the Chambers Forum. The county received the designation and recognition for its progress in the areas of transportation and community trip reduction, solid waste and recycling, and social performance indicators. Moving forward, the county aims to expand its participation in the Green Business Program and to elevate their work in alignment with the Board of County Commissioners Climate Mitigation Program, as well as within the region partners. The other item that I'd like to highlight, this is for the members of the public. You may know we switched to a new web-page environment, and switching to a new environment will have a lot of some of those glitches, one of which is the update to the master calendar, which seems to have an issue. We'll continue to work on that to resolve in the long term. However, the weekly schedule for the Board of County Commissioners is up to date, and that is working correctly. But in some of the master calendar, beyond a week, we may need to resolve as to how we can align when we make changes to the master calendar of the Board of County Commissioners. Any questions on the two items?
Questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. We're moving on to department items. First off, from the auditor's office, item 3A is approval of the voucher list.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, for your considerations, for you to consider approving the voucher list for the week of March 13, 2023 for a combined amount of $1,331,551.29.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Menzer? No. Okay, I don't have any questions as well. I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the voucher list for the week of March 13, 2023 for a combined amount of $1,331,551.29.
I'll second the motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
We'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Next is the approval of the voucher list for the week of March 20th, item 3B.
Thank you again. This is for your consideration, the voucher list for the week of March 20, 2023 for a combined amount of $1,504,455.61.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, hearing none, I am ready for a motion.
I move to approve the voucher list for the week of March 20th, 2023 for a combined amount of $1,504,455.61.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I might mention, the reason I am continuing to vote nay at this point in time is there are still expenditures that are happening for the move that we've moved down here from up on the hill, and I'll leave it go at that at this point in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Moving on to Commissioner's Office, item 4A is Associate Development Organization Designation. And Jenica Machado, our Economic Development Manager, will report this item.
Hi, good afternoon, Jenica Machado, Economic Development Manager.
Washington State Department of Commerce is directed by RCW 43.330.080 to contract with county designated associate development organizations, or ADOs, to increase the support for and coordination of community and economic development services in regional areas. Every 2 years, Commerce begins the process of contracting with the ADOs and has requested that Thurston County complete the ADO certification form for the 2023 to 2025 biennium. Thurston County can choose to redesignate the current ADO, the Thurston Economic Development Council, or make a new designation. The designation form is due to Commerce by April 15th, and I am here to recommend a move to approve the designation of the Thurston Economic Development Council as the Thurston County Associate Development Organization.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No, ma'am.
Commissioner Menzer?
No.
Okay, no questions from me, Jenica. I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the designation of the Thurston Economic Development Council as the Thurston County Associate Development Organization.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Moving on to Public Works, item 5A is adopt resolution of findings and determinations for proposed Offutt Lake Management District number 24. Tim Wilson, our Water Resources Manager, will report this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tim Wilson, Water Resources Manager with Public Works. Public Works staff is requesting the board consider a resolution of findings and determinations regarding the establishment of Offutt Lake Management District number 24. To provide some background on this topic, on September 27, 2022, the Board of County Commissioners approved Resolution 16200, declaring its intention to form Offutt Lake Management District number 24. This action set a public hearing for November 1st, 2022 to consider comments from affected property owners on the proposed new district and its work plan. Notice of this public hearing was properly published in the Olympian on September 29 and October 6, 2022. Notice of the public hearing was also sent to property owners within the proposed Lake Management District boundaries, listing their parcel numbers and charges, and a copy of the resolution of intention to establish Offutt Lake Management District number 24. Additional notice was provided to the Washington State Departments of Natural Resources, Ecology, and Fish and Wildlife. The public hearing was held on November 1st, 2022, and the board was briefed on the public hearing on January 4th, 2023. Following the closing of the public hearing, the BoCC by statute has 4 options. The first option is to approve the OLMD as proposed, finding that it meets the required criteria for board approval, and adopt a resolution that submits the question of creating the new district to affected property owners by ballot. The second option is to approve the Offutt Lake Management District, but modify the activities or boundaries of the proposed district per the provisions of RCW 3661. Modifying the district boundaries, changes to the work plan, or any increase in the proposed assessments will require passing an amended resolution of intention, a new notice to property owners, and may require an additional public hearing. The third option is to reject the Offutt Lake Management District proposal and specify the rationale for determining that the proposal does not meet the required criteria. And lastly, you can return the proposal to the property owner committee for response to specific questions or issues. Also by statute, the proposal must meet 3 requirements for board approval. First, the proposal must be in the public interest as evidenced by property owner interest and the proposal's conformance to RCW 3661 and county policies and regulations. 2, the financing and budget of the proposed Offutt Lake Management District must be feasible and solely sufficient to fulfill the district's purpose and accomplish its proposed work plan without the need for county financial support. And third, additionally, the Offutt Lake Management District proposal must avoid adverse impacts and enhance habitat for fish and wildlife. Approval of the proposed resolution will adopt findings and determinations from the public hearing that formation of a new Offutt Lake Management District meets the required criteria and will submit the question of its establishment to a vote of all affected property owners within the proposed district. If a vote is authorized and passes, staff would prepare an ordinance for board consideration forming the Offutt Lake Management District number 24. If formed, a lake management district creates a county-managed program directed by Public Works and supported by a county-managed advisory committee who provide input and information to Public Works on short and long-term management strategies. The county maintains staff who serve as technical experts regarding lake management activities. Thurston County LMDs are subject to all county-adopted policies and procedures and are required to align work plans to complement and support all board-adopted programs. Further, any LMD formed by the county will operate under the Thurston County Lake Management District administrative rules, which outline the relationship, roles, and responsibilities of the county and communities partnering under an LMD structure and help ensure work plans and lake management efforts remain in the public interest. If formed, management of the Offutt Lake Management District would require an additional half full-time equivalent county employee depending upon components of the work plan. And with that background, I would answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. Thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer? Okay, no questions from me. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the resolution findings and determinations that establishment of Offutt Lake Management District number 24 is in the public interest, and further move to authorize a vote of landowners within the boundaries of the proposed Offutt Lake Management District.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I guess I would make a couple of points since Diane and Gary are here. And I had a meeting with both of them since they've been very active in this whole process. And I guess one of the agreements of me moving forward with this was, that we could have an actual fruitful relationship between the LMD and Public Works, and that we would be moving forward in an amicable way. And so just with that conversation in place, right, and seeing both of you here, I just wanted to lay out my expectations if we're going to be moving forward with that is just to have a very solid relationship and moving forward. And of course, this is just the vote still that the residents have to take, but yeah, okay. So with that ending the discussion, I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer? Aye. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Next, item 5B, resolution for temporary closure of Black Lake Belmore Road Southwest between Black Lake Boulevard Southwest and Sapp Road Southwest.
I'm sorry, it doesn't look like my camera's working. This is Matt Unsman with Thurston County Public Works. Public Works is requesting to temporarily close Black Lake Belmore Southwest between Black Lake Boulevard and Sapp Road to accommodate the construction of the Black Lake Belmore Bridge Approach Repair Project. This project was prioritized by Public Works because the approaches of the Black Lake Bridge near Percival Creek have settled more than 2 feet, causing safety concerns for vehicles and bicyclists. We hired a geotechnical consultant to evaluate the soil conditions and develop alternatives to repair the approaches. The proposed project is the most cost-effective and efficient repair for the bridge approaches. The repair includes removing 4,500 cubic yards of soils, driving 540 timber piles, and replacing the 4,500 cubic yards with structurally reinforced soils. The closures would be for 12 consecutive weeks in the time period between June 1st and October 31st. This closure, the limits of the closure have no private access points, so we would not be preventing anybody from accessing their homes. This section of Black Lake Belmore has an average daily traffic volume of 4,600 vehicles per day, A detour route will be established with the appropriate signage. The total detour length is 4.5 miles and will take approximately 8 minutes to navigate. The detour includes Sap Road, R.W. Johnson, 21st Avenue, and Black Lake Boulevard. A very thorough communication plan has been put together to notify stakeholders such as local residents, emergency responders, school districts, and nearby businesses. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. And I apologize for my camera. I don't know what's going on.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions at this time.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No more covered this morning.
And yes, we did cover this last week and this week quite extensively on the repair of this road. And with that, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the resolution authorizing the county engineer to temporarily close Black Lake Belmore Road Southwest between Black Lake Boulevard Southwest and Sap Road Southwest for up to 12 consecutive weeks during a time period between June 1st, 2023 and October 31st, 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, moving on to our standing items. Item 6A, Commissioners will report on board work sessions and assigned committee meetings, providing updates on actions taken as well as upcoming issues. Commissioner Edwards, we'll start with you, sir.
The Communication Center, we had a meeting there, Thurston Regional Planning, Fair Board. And I might mention that the Fair Board is having their secondhand or yard sale on April 21st and 22nd. And it's a kind of a vendor swap meet garage sale activity. And the funds go to helping the Fair Board function. So good cause for those of you that want to go to a yard sale. I think the bid came in on the tear down on the building that we're working on. And that was about 30,000 under the bid estimate. So we got a little bit of help there.
That's great.
Attended the Lacey South Sound Chamber in which the state of Lacey was being presented by the new interim manager, Rick. And besides doing a lot of good things in Lacey, they seem to be right on top of it. One thing I might bring up to my seatmates that I think is worth maybe a future discussion. As we move towards whatever process has to do with charging stations in Thurston County, that we try to do some coordination with adjoining jurisdictions so that the public has a leveler playing field as we move into this new mode of transportation. So I think they've got a pretty good plan they're putting together. For instance, one of the questions I asked was, well, okay, so you've only got so many charging stations. What about those that park, plug, and go? Well, they've figured out a way around that. They can park, plug, and go to a certain point, and then after that point in which the customer knows this, if they leave their vehicle there for a period of time, it just boosts the charge to a crazy amount. So it keeps those positions from being hoarded, if you will. So I just think it's that being just kind of an idea that made sense, but all the other ideas that they were talking about, I think it's worth us discussing some type of coordination as we move forward, whenever we move forward. So a lot of constituent contacts regarding the HCP that we've heard today made its first issuance from our CPAD folks. And a lot of the other issues were lakes, water quality, and many other land use issues. So that'd be my report, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Menzer?
Okay, thank you. Well, I was out of town last week visiting my dad in Nevada, but This week, just Innovative Justice meeting was this morning, and we had a good presentation from Lacey Mobile Outreach Team on how that program is very successful, and they're hoping to expand it. Before I left, since the last meeting, had a chance to attend the retirement of Ann Freeman Manzanares, the General Manager of Intercity Transit, the Thurston Thrives Elected Officials Council meeting, and then work there right before I left, more work with legislative issues regarding older forests, and had a chance to put together that letter that I thank my seatmates for giving a thumbs up because it got printed in the Olympian Sunday. So hopefully that has some impact, kind of expressing, I think it was a good representation of the community sentiment and values that at least I've been hearing from my constituents. So we'll see how that goes, and that's my report.
Thank you. For my report, last Wednesday I had the SWAC meeting. Next month's SWAC meeting that was set to be scheduled on May 3rd is canceled, and in lieu of that, we will be visiting the Pioneer Recycling Services in Tacoma. And, basically this facility is the one who does the county's recycling. So I'm very excited to actually do this. This is my first field trip with SWAC. So I had a farm bill discussion, and so we learned from Congresswoman Strickland and Congresswoman Guzman-Perez that they're working on a farm bill, and they've been kind of reaching out and receiving input. So I reached out to the Thurston Conservation District, WSU Extension, the Thurston EDC, and then I brought in Jenica Machado and Ashley Arai into a meeting, basically to discuss kind of the priorities for Thurston County when it comes to farming and agriculture. And we kind of split it into three areas: existing programs that we would like to expand, existing programs that really aren't accessible. The match is too high. There was one that I learned about where there's this grant where you can buy land for farming, the counties can, but the match is 50-50. And if you go look online, like for farmland right now, it's 15 million, 25 million. So it's not really achievable for counties to be able to buy into those programs, and neither for the conservation district or for other groups that would like to use land for agriculture. And then new programs that we would like to see put in place. So we're working on this kind of joint letter, and once we have kind of a rough draft, I'll be bringing it to the board to kind of look over, and then we can all sign it, and then it's going to be sent basically on behalf of all of these groups together, and it's going to be sent to both Congress people. Then I did a field trip to Black Lake for the Belmore Road, and thank you to Public Works for indulging me in that trip. And then Intercity Transit was that night, and I want to update commissioners that staff is fully moved in. They moved in over the weekend, so operators and all the staff are now fully in there in this building up here, so we'll be seeing a little bit more traffic during that area. And then attended the bill signing for House Bill or Senate Bill 5627. And that's the bill that I've had to testify quite a bit in terms of the Salary Commission guidelines and how the RCW had to be updated once we moved from 3 to 5 commissioners and have that inclusive language in there. So that is all I have to report for now. Item B, the county manager will now review the Board of County Commissioners schedule for the week of April 11th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me walk you through your combined schedule for this upcoming week. Where at least 2 commissioners will be present, you may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. Starting this afternoon at 4:30, you have your standing Board of Health meeting. Moving to tomorrow, Wednesday, April 12th, 9 in the morning, you have a briefing related to the code clarifications and corrections, followed by the District Court Substance Abuse Monitoring Program update at 9:30. At 10, you have a briefing related to the Trail Connectivity Program. And at 11, you will be attending the Chamber Forum. That will be the Thurston Green Business Award, and that will be located in Norman, the Worthington Conference Center, located at 5300300 Pacific Avenue Southeast in Lacey. And tomorrow, Wednesday, April 12th at 2 in the afternoon, you have a briefing related to the Thurston 2045 scope of work briefing. And then at 5:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, you have been invited to participate on a retirement celebration for John Don. He's retiring from the city administrator for the city of Tumwater. Nothing, you combine the schedule for Thursday, April 13, nothing for April 14th. And moving on to Monday, April 17, at noon, you have your standing Washington State Association of Counties meeting. And at 4 in the afternoon, you're invited to participate in the Standing House Washington virtual meeting. Then you will convene here Tuesday, April 18, and 9 in the morning on your regular agenda setting. In the afternoon, you have a regular Board of County Commissioners meeting at 2 in the afternoon. And at 3:30, you have a public hearing related to the House and Urban Development Consolidated Plan Needs Analysis and Assessment for Fair Housing. Any questions? So at 9 in the morning, we will have a briefing on the code clarification and corrections. 9:30 is a briefing related to the District Court Substance Monitoring Program update.
Yeah,
At 10, you have the Trail Connectivity Program.
okay, I don't have that one.
I don't have that one either.
So that may be an issue on the master calendar that we have. But I do have that scheduled for you tomorrow.
All right,
That's some of the elements that we have. But I believe that particular briefing is listed on your weekly agenda that is posted online. My apologies.
Okay, I have the Orca board meeting. I'll have to email them and let them know then, since it wasn't popping up on my calendar.
Okay. Well, we'll double check. If there's an opportunity to reschedule that, we'll do so.
It's fine. I'll let them know, and then I'll probably let them know that I'm just gonna be late just for quorum issues, that either I'll be late or not be able to attend.
Is that a half-hour meeting or hour?
It is only 30 minutes.
10:30, okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so with item 6C, that will conclude our agenda for today. And for anyone who would like to attend the Board of Health meeting, it starts at 4:30 PM. Thank you. And is it on the same Zoom link? Different Zoom link.